beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. If you're seeing me for the first time, my name is Joyce Anyanwu. Today I'll be taking us to watch where Mr. Charles Onunaiju will be talking on the visitor, the Chinese visitor we have, that is in the person of China Foreign Minister on Tourists of Africa. So he will be talking about the relationship Nigerian and China have. So guys, let's just listen before I will come back and just say my opinion. And you that are watching, please drop your own opinion in the comment section. Thank you, and let's watch together.
Nigeria's burgeoning relations with China. Thank you so much for being on the news tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Great. For over 2 decades, China has consistently maintained this ritual of sending its foreign affairs minister on the tour of Africa. And this visit is not any different. It's the first visit of any Chinese envoy out of China to Africa. But what does this long-standing ritual reveal about China's strategic priorities for the continent of Africa?
Well, not so much a ritual, because a ritual could be simply to procedural akin with no substance. I think it underscores that Africa is right in the fundamentals of China international relations. And this tradition of engaging Africa and starting their diplomatic work each year in Africa is a signal that Africa matters, and the traditional engagement between China and Africa right from the early 60s up to now has had a lot of transformation from a relationship that originally started from sharing ideology of anti-colonialism. Now it's become more pragmatic, focusing on what we need in practical terms to drive our respective national development goals. So it's become more pragmatic, it become more practical, it become more, it now delivers more, and it is targeted at critical areas of national development priorities of different African countries. It's not a one-size-fits-all. The China engagement is broad enough for African countries to engage to a specific area that aligns with their national priority.
And that was one of the main discussion areas from this visit. The geopolitical dynamics in Africa, as we know, is shifting. We have nations like China, Russia, Turkey increasing their influence in Africa, as you see France sort of losing ground. The foreign minister, Wang Yi, emphasized, he says, look, Africans are the masters of this continent. But how then can this collaboration between Nigeria and China, strengthen African-led solutions without fostering any more dependency?
Well, before taking on this question, I would like to say that China is not new. China has been a permanent fixture in Nigeria, in African cooperation. If you remember, in the early 70s, when China was weak, it hasn't even become as phenomenal as it is today. It supported Africa to build one of the most important projects, the Tanzania-Zambia Railway, that actually shielded the two countries from the toxic effect of South Africa, then racist South Africa. But recently, of course, when people speak about how could Africa shield itself from the effect, from the same consequences as we had with the West, my simple answer, we have to build capacity. China and Africa are both opportunities to themselves, but the way we can engage more productively is to build sufficient capacity, institutional capacity, build capacity that enables us to sit on the table and engage the opportunity of China-African cooperation. I can tell you one of a few things. In the past few years, China has initiated a number of processes in collaboration with Africa. For example, the China-African Trade and Economic Expo in Shanghai that was built so that Africa can send more of their products, whether agricultural or medium-sized produces, to China. In fact, they created what they call a special lane to make for concessional entry of African products into Chinese market. A whole range of African countries have been seizing the moment. South Africa exports spice, Rwanda exports honey, Zambia exports honey, Kenya exports meat and mango. I think we are yet to respond adequately.
Great, because that brings me to my next question. I want us to narrow down this conversation to Nigeria.
Yes.
We've spoken about the broader collaboration between Africa and the continent of Africa. But when it comes to Nigeria, how is this win-win cooperation, as China likes to tout it? How has it positioned Nigeria in this relationship so far? I mean, today President Bola Tinubu was asking of the currency swap deal from the current $2 billion. You wonder how transformative that has been so far?
Yes, but the question we ask, because this currency swap is not new, it's been around since 2017, about $2 billion US also was made available. But the question is, how many of our businesses were able to access this, to engage in direct business with China without going through the dollar? Are they available in the banks? Do people find it in the bank? This is where our institutional challenge comes into play. That is where building capacity to engage the China opportunity comes into play. You see, because if you don't build capacity to engage these opportunities, it simply fritters away. If China provides $2 billion US so that Nigerian businesses do not have to go around to use dollar or any other medium currency, it should be available. How many business people, small scale, medium scale businesses, industrialists, how many of them are accessing this fund? These are the questions. So we need a lot of work to do by creating the basic institutional capacity that enables us to engage these opportunities. They exist. They are not phantom. But the Chinese don't have to deliver it at our doorstep. We have to develop the capacity to engage these opportunities and align it to our national priorities. But Tinubu has done something very important. He went to China in 2000, last year, his first visit, and after the phenomenal engagement, which resulted in the elevation of the strategic partnership to comprehensive strategic partnership, with a view to build what the two sides agreed to be Nigeria and China community of shared future. The question is, he came back, he created a special directorate to oversee the outcome of the strategic partnership and align it to our national priority. But the question is, how far our institutions ready to deliver on this? I just gave one instance where China, in consultation with African countries, established a concessional lane for the export of African products. And a whole lot of African countries are taking advantage of this opportunity. It's not only with China. If you remember AGOA, what did we gain from AGOA? AGOA was instituted in 2000 to enable African countries to export to the United States because of the regulatory opaqueness of our various regulatory bodies. Most products exported from Nigeria to the United States get sent back.
Great.
So we need to strengthen institutions if we want to actually maximize and optimize the gains from any of these opportunities.
What are the other things we must do? Because I hear you say we are not getting as much from this relationship. I hear you say we have not positioned ourselves because we lack the institution capacity that needs strengthening. So what else must we do apart from strengthening our institution to benefit from this relationship?
It must be opaque. It must be transparent. Discussions must be open. Whatever agreed must be dutifully implemented. If there was an agreement for concessional loan to build, like the railways, concessional loan, China provide 85%. Nigeria should provide 15% counterpart funding. Do we come up on time? Do we build, if you build a seaport, like the Barrow Port they built in Niger, today is a wreck because there is no road network. There is no infrastructural connectivity. So the port is gone. Over $2 billion, about to go down the drain. The sea that was dredged, the sand has returned because we have not done our part. So we need to build capacity to respond to these opportunities. The opportunities are real. The Chinese are not Father Christmas. They're also, the ruling governing Communist Party is a very responsible party that looks to creating value for their people. So they're not throwing funds away. If we are asking for more, like President Tinubu is asking, we must demonstrate capacity. We must demonstrate integrity to engage robustly and generate that win-win outcome. Win-win outcome can happen, except both sides work together to make it happen. Otherwise, the other side wins and the other person stays. So win-win is a call to duty. It's a call to rise from your complacency. China had no moment of complacency in her global engagement. No moment, no single moment. So we have to also develop the appetite to remain resilient. I want, without building strategic resilience, which in my view is to build the relevant capacity and create the necessary institutional framework, we will not optimize the gains from the China opportunity. Other parts of the world are. Let's face the fact. other parts of the world. China is not just about Nigeria. They just built the largest port in South America, the Chancay port in Peru, worth over $3 billion US, to cut traveling times from Peru, South America to China from 35 days to 20 days.
Mr. Onunaiju, you made your point about, Nigeria's positioning to benefit from this relationship. But I don't know if I can ask you, when you look at the continent, including Nigeria, you see China's footprint in infrastructure. China is big on infrastructure on the continent, including here in Nigeria. But it says it's ready to, deepen such bilateral relationship. Where should we be prioritizing? Are there other sectors you think that we are lacking that we should be prioritizing when we talk about our relationship with China?
Well, I've always maintained that infrastructure is essential and enabler. It enables activities, other economic activities. If it is not enabling anything, it becomes a debt capital. In fact, it becomes a liability. So the question is, are we creating the necessary economic activity that will enable the infrastructure facilitates, it enables, it leverages. So we must create the policy. We must have the relevant policy instrument to stimulate activities that engages the abilities of this infrastructure before they become a liability, before they become debt capital. So in themselves, they are not magic wands. They don't turn things around on their own. You must create an activity. And the activity will have to do with relevant government policy to stimulate production, because infrastructure, you build rail network and nothing to transport. What does it mean? You build dry port, you build seaport, like the one in Barrow that I told you is overtaken by rodents now, after building it with over 3 billion naira. What can happen if you do not create the enabling necessary economic activity that fits into the infrastructure support?
So what you're saying is this partnership is important. China will not spoon feed anybody. So when we're going into this partnership, Nigeria has to come prepared, has to come ready to benefit from that partnership. But I wanted to ask you about sort of debt sustainability. China and Nigeria are really good trading partners, right? But when we leverage on Chinese loans, how do you assess that balance with concerns about debt sustainability?
Well, you see, first and foremost, those loans are concessional loans, in the sense they have low interest rate and they have long time of gestation, long time of duration. They are configured in such a way that those projects would have started not only paying for itself, delivering on the social mandate of making life easier, delivering on the political mandate of stability and security, but more importantly, delivering profit. And configured in that way. China is not Father Christmas. They don't give money out. Like I told you, the Communist Party, which is the governing party, has a mandate to ensure the happiness, continuous happiness, better life and prosperity of the Chinese. So they have no way of throwing things away that do not deliver value. It is in our own interest to figure out how to ensure that we also deliver value. The framework has value. It has prospered for value creation, value multiplication. So the extent to which you drive this value and align it with your national priority and bring succor to your people is the extent to which you are alive to your responsibility. More or less, the extent to which your institutions are transparent, credible, efficient, and serious. If you talk with the Chinese and go home and sleep, ironically, Chinese themselves don't sleep. They take every little detail serious. So if we want to work with them, we need to take things from our own side serious.
Great. After all, there's no free lunch, even in Freetown.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
People, welcome back. So guys, what did you think? You have heard what Mr. Charles Onunaiju has just said, and Onunaiju has just said, analyzed. So, Nigeria bringing in China to inviting China to come to Nigeria. I don't really know what you guys, your thought on this. Yes, it's good to bring investor. It's good to make a relationship with people that will come to Nigeria and build Nigeria. I'm not against that. But what I'm against is that they have to stand, according to what this man, Mr. Charles, has just analyzed, that you cannot make a deal with China and you go back to sleep. you have to deliver your own part. It's a bargain, a business. It's a bargain thing. You do your own, China people will do their own too. That if you bargain a deal with them and you go back and sleep, you don't deliver your own, them too, they will go back. He said, remember, China people, they are not, they don't sleep. They are not sleeping. They are working so strong to make their economic strong. So if you, Nigeria, want to work with China, you have to be serious, to be sincerely, be straightforward, not borrowing money, bringing investor to come and invest. At the end of the day, nothing will come out. So according to what I know, since Tinubu entered office, he has been traveling in the name that is going to bring investor. But up till today, we have not seen any investor that have come to Nigeria to, to invest. We have seen German president has come, India has come, a lot, and now it's China. All of us know that China is, they are very good. They are good in investing, but you have to work. They are everywhere, mostly in Africa, because they make their money. They don't sit, they don't sleep, they work to see that their country is better. So my beautiful people, I don't know what you guys think. Please drop your comment in the comment section. Drop your opinion in the comment section. If you have watched this video to this time, thank you very much for watching. Drop what you think, drop your thought, drop everything in the comment section. My name still remains Joyce Anyanwu. Thank you, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye for now.